First things first, what is Patas? Was founded in February 14, 2011. It is a trailblazer of critical thinking, free thought, and scientific inquiry in the Philippines. It provides social action to promote public understanding of atheism and agnosticism. It stands for science, reason, humanism, and secularism. Its mission is, of course, to promote public understanding about atheism and agnosticism, the elimination of myths, misconceptions about atheism and agnosticism. Myths such as atheists eat babies. How many of you have heard of that myth? Come on, it's a common internet meme that we eat babies. I can assure you we eat baby back ribs, but not babies. To encourage fellow atheists and agnostics to come out and speak against the discrimination of non-believers, to speak for equal opportunity as Filipino citizens, and to address misconceptions about non-belief. Misconceptions such as atheists are Satanists, or atheists are devil worshippers. Quite frankly, that is ridiculous. Since if we do not even believe in a God, may that be a Judeo-Christian God, may that be Allah, may that be Yahweh, if we do not believe in those, why should we believe in Satan? And quite frankly, for us to be called Satanists, that would be a really great compliment for the Satanists. I mean, you have your stereotypical Satanist, and to be called, for a Satanist to be mistaken as this. Wow. Okay, next slide. To be socially responsible by replacing superstitious imperatives with rational, secular solutions. To promote humanism and to ensure camaraderie and harmonious information exchange between Filipino atheists and agnostics. So that is Patas' mission. Okay, the mic's in 10. Okay, sorry. So, what are the few things you've heard about atheists? Can I ask someone? Anyone? Okay, I'll ask randomly. You there. So they say it's just a phase. Like when people go punk. Suddenly they're not punk anymore. Yeah. Anyone else? Over there. And as the ladies over there, have you heard about misconceptions about atheism? Not? No? Wow, that's the first. Okay. You see, Patas was created at first not as a replacement for religion, because it would be quite ridiculous for us to make our own religion when we in fact have left that stage. Patas was created as a haven. I know, because at first being an atheist, you'd think it is a lonely struggle. The moment you start questioning, sometimes you open yourself up to, how do I say this? Not criticisms. You open yourself up to social stigmas, to prejudice. The moment you start questioning even one of the most fundamental things about religion, there are some people who will look at you with such hostility. And so Patas was born with a vision. Philippine Atheist and Agnostic Society envisions itself as an agent of social awareness and public understanding concerning non-belief, an organization committed to replacing superstition with natural secular solutions, to social problems grounded in the lack of belief in the supernatural, as an organization that commits to education on concepts of atheism and agnosticism and the unity of Filipino atheists and agnostics towards Filipino atheism and agnosticism. That's a mouthful, so sorry if I had to read it from the laptop itself. So, with that, why with that, what do I think about people who join religions or stay in religions? Quite frankly, not the truth. Why is it that? Well, frankly, there are three things I would like you to see. Three things I would like to explain to you why I think a lot of people are leaving organized religion. Slide, thank you. Violence. I've heard Pastor quote Blaise Pascal a while ago, and I shall quote him again. Men never do evil so completely and cheerfully as when they do it from religious conviction. Religion has been a cause or a catalyst for wars. Namely, one of those is the Crusades. Genocide. It's been done so many times before. Even if you look at the Bible, you look at a lot of religious texts, a lot of actions there are, in fact, so much genocidal. The Great Flood is genocidal. The killing of the firstborn in Egypt was genocidal. That is why I think a lot of people are leaving religion right now. You have murder. One of the presidents of the American Atheists, correct me if I'm wrong, American Atheists, right? One of the founders was killed by religious fundamentalists. She was murdered in cold blood just because what? Of religious fundamentalism. There have been assaults. At one point during 2012, we had one of our monthly activities in Luneta, Rizal Park. One of the members, our members, was assaulted by this drunk devotee of the Black Nazarene. We had done nothing to provoke them, in fact. We were just discussing things. We were discussing about, allow me to jog my memory, I think we were discussing about, I don't know, they don't remember, I don't remember as well, but it was a light topic. And of course, sometimes it promotes hate speech. I'm sure you have seen people, I want to drop names, although, meron bang ADD dito? Ang dating daan? Okay, perfect. Okay,
Ang dating
perfect.
daan.
But yeah, there have been evidences of hate speech from them. There have been evidences of hate speech by the Westboro Baptist Church. God hates fags, as they say. And God hates a lot of things. Yeah, goddamn America. We have seen examples of hate speech from the Muslims in the United Kingdom, right? They're the ones saying liberalism, go to hell, behead those who insult Islam. I don't know if those are photoshopped or not, but I don't know about you. That quantifies as hate speech for me. Next slide. Let's keep things simple. I don't want to bombard everyone. Propagation of scientific ignorance. First, we have pseudoscience. I don't know if there are any creationists here, but I think creationism falls under pseudoscience. And among others, there are... Who here has heard of Raelians? They have a lot of... They say a lot of things that are quite pseudoscientific. Arguments from ignorance. We cannot know, therefore God. He is something unfathomable. Therefore, we don't just know Him. You see, the thing is, back then, people worshipped the sun. When it rained, people thought that angels are crying or Poseidon is getting angry when we had those storms. These are things that were developed from man's ignorance and in their desperation for such explanations. But right now, what have we found out? When it rains, when it storms, it's because of condensation of from the sea and things like that. Back then, we don't worship the sun anymore. We just know that it's a freaking star. You see, that's the problem with arguments from ignorance. If you simply conclude to supernatural conclusions, what then happens? Outright advocacy to ignore knowledge and scientific pursuits. This advocacy is right now very noticeable among the Baptists in the U.S. They want to do away with evolution books. They want to do away with scientific books and just stick to, well, one book. And much can be seen in this with the Amish, who preferably go with a lifestyle that is very simplistic, very rustic. And quite frankly, I don't think those kids are taught about science anymore. Next. And my third argument for against religion is the violation of civil rights. You have misogyny. What qualifies as misogyny is, of course, the discrimination against women. Its twin is misandry. But a lot of organized religions nowadays have so much misogyny in them. I mean, you don't see much equal opportunity in organized religion. Has there been a female pope? Has there been a female priest? Has there been a female Dalai Lama? You see, it's these kind of things that do not give the same opportunity to women. These are evidence itself. You may say tradition, but traditions change. Slavery was once a tradition with them. Correct me if I'm wrong, but does the Bible not say that if a man beats his slave with a stick and the slave dies 2 days after, then he shall be punished? But if not, if the slave walks, I don't know the exact, isn't it just, right? It was back then a tradition, slavery. And now every single religion is going out, no, slavery is wrong. Well, what about back then? Why didn't you say that? I don't know, we don't know any better. Then what good are they here for? Simply that. If you don't know any better back then, what makes you think you know any better now? Homophobia. Who here believes in marriage equality? A slight few hands. See? Homophobia is one thing that does exist in religion as well. And it is quite frankly a violation of civil rights. Marriage is a civil right. It's not a privilege. So why use it for just heterosexual people? Why? Right? Why the God hates fags? Racism. You see, racism is quite a gray area. There are other people who give racial slurs against a certain religion. I mean, they see a Muslim and suddenly they have committed the Inquisition. Inquisition, so many others tortured. So many people killed in the name of faith. Witch hunts. Who here among you is familiar with Salem? Salem, yeah. 20 dead, 150 imprisoned. All because of fears of things they do not understand. Who here is familiar with the Buddhist Burma massacre of 1850? No one? Buddhist Burma massacre of 1850, which killed 500 people. Until the British colonizers had to put a stop to it. Islamic jihadists. And the destruction of the Serapeum, which is a place wherein the Library of Alexandria was in. Such atrocities were committed all in the name of faith. So, what does the future hold for religion? Well, first, before we say what happens in the future, we have to examine its past. The problem with back then in the past is religion taught us to be content. It taught us things in which a common man would be content with poverty. A common man should be content with just knowing this. At the present, when we look at religion, no wonder so many people are still leaving it. When you have extremists, left and right, going out. And you know the thing with this is, you have extremists, sure, but you have the peaceful side, right? You have peaceful Muslims, you have peaceful Baptists, you have peaceful Catholics. But the problem with this is, why do we not see them uniting under one voice against their extremists? Why do we not see a combined Muslim contingent condemning the actions of ISIS?
There is already a cut.
But why do we not hear of those?
Because the media does not pick up the positive side of the Muslim news. They like to post news that portrays the.
But we have independent media. That's one thing we could utilize. I do not see.
Do not generalize, because it's also not good to put Islam into pride. These are actions of few adherents, but we have to differentiate between adherents and the faith.
Yes, we should get back to that. Why do we not see, well, at least for others, why do we not see the other more peaceful sides? Because we have independent media nowadays, we have social media, we have so many things to reach out to people. Why do we stick with those? The issue of, there are a lot of scientific issues right now that are held back by religious dogma. The stem cell research is one of them. Evolution is still being contested right now. We see, when you have those things that propagate such ignorance, when you have those things that counter so the very established facts of science as well, why do you still stay in that? It is in these things that we see wherein it tells us to be content with simplicity, whereas we should be, how do I say this? Whereas we should be focusing on our progress. You see, one thing I can say is, what does the future hold for religion? Is it good or bad? Well, let's look at it this way. The future of religion will look good if it changes. If it changes its views on civil rights, if it does away with all the calls for violence, then it will thrive, it will survive. I have nothing against religion. It is the misuse of religion that bothers me. Religion will have a better future if it changes, if it learns to accept what science has to say, what secularism has to offer. Unless we have that, then the future of religion will look bleak. Thank you.